greatest invention in the world is the mind of a child. When we were kids, we always had something we really liked. Some of us liked dinosaurs, or outer space, or cringy YouTubers. But I was always the more creative type. I liked to draw. In my free time, when I didn't have any work to do, which was quite often as I was one of those weird kids who was only good in school until like 6th grade, I'd sketch these big 2D battle scenes between a bunch of Minecraft characters. I was already super big into Minecraft by this time, watching Dan TDM and Stampy as well as owning Java Edition on the family computer. I'd seen one of those little cards with a scratch-off code on them in the store and begged my mom to let me get it because I was tired of playing Pocket Edition all the time, so I knew quite a bit about the game. But what I always really wanted was to write my own stories. Before we get into that, I want to tell you to subscribe to my YouTube. Okay, but really, I've had my share of fake friends. You know, like those people who just kind of keep you around but don't actually like you and don't want to upset you by telling you that. Yeah, I've had a good couple of those. This one in particular, we'll call him Jimby. I knew from about 3rd to 5th grade. One day I came to Jimby with a proposition. Hey man, want to write a comic? Sure dude. Alright, let's meet in the library during free time in class tomorrow. Okay. So we started brainstorming what our comic should be about. We wanted it to be funny and unique and... Okay, so what if we wrote about this sentient pair of scissors and his friend who's a Cyclops? You know what? That's not bad, actually. So we started writing a comic about this Cyclops named Cyclops and his best buddy, Dizzers. He was actually drawn like this. Like, I'm not even joking. They went on all sorts of wacky adventures, but we never really gave him a backstory. They ended up meeting a bunch of other characters, like Pencil, Eraser, who was always drawn very weird, because neither of us could draw erasers. Pencil Sharpener, who looked something like that, I think. And a couple others. Bet you can't tell who this one is. And then there was, like, Tape, I think. But yeah, I think there was also, like, Pen and Pen Eraser, who we just kind of draw like an eraser with P written on it. I'm pretty sure we killed those guys off at some point because we were sadistic children who knew about that kind of thing. But the villain of this whole story was this guy right here. His name was Bad Boy. He had like, he was something. He had like 6 arms, 7 eyes, I think. Something like that. And he was always trying to beat up Cyclops and Dizzers in the gang. I don't even really know why. I don't really know what his motive was. I do remember at one point he made like a cloning machine and basically just made like sort of his own army of stormtroopers that were all him. And then they like never revolted against this guy who was literally just one of them for whatever reason. But then one of the clones went rogue and teamed up with the Dizzers gang and he called himself Sam. He wields a shrink ray, kind of looks like that, and that's basically the only weapon they had against Bad Boy except, like, themselves. Just, contemplate the nature of a pencil and an eraser in a hand-drawn environment. So that basically covers the full extent of the Dizzers comics. They never beat Bad Boy, and Jimby and I just kind of drifted apart. I haven't drawn much since elementary school, but I've written some stuff, composed music you can check out right here. And I'm working on some neat little stories that I hope to share with you guys someday. I've got a few other tales about elementary school. On the topic of kids being creative, they had this weird art app program thing on the computers back when I was a kid. I have no clue what it was called, and I can't seem to find it, but it had like a bunch of features, and it was super fun to mess around with back when we had free time. In the same room the computers on that thing we're in, I found one of those big ball-looking beads they have on some necklaces. It wasn't even tiny either, it was like an inch wide and tall. Being a stupid kid, I thought it was made of some kind of valuable crystal. Being a huge Pikmin fan at the time didn't help either. And I was ready to go sell this thing and retire at age 9. Unfortunately, one of the other kids, we'll call her Beezus, was like, no, someone's probably lost that, we should take it to the lost and found. And I was like, no, but my millions. Yeah, it was useless, 9-year-old me. I'm sorry, but you're not that bright. Something weird about my childhood was that I was somehow never bullied. I mean, yeah, occasionally someone would just like poke fun at me, but I don't have any actual PTSD from elementary school. Which honestly is probably a good thing. Okay, well there was one time. In kindergarten this girl told me she didn't like Mario, and I was like, no, but he's Mario. How could anyone not like Mario? So one time during recess I went up to her and I was like, hey, I don't like Mario anymore. She was like, well now, okay. And I just kept playing Mario anyway. That was one of the more memorable experiences of my childhood. I wouldn't call it bullying, but like 6-year-old me thought that was absolutely devastating. Okay, well there was actually another time I remember pretty vividly. So, if anyone else remembers this was a thing, back in kindergarten we did this thing called the freeze dance. It was basically where the teacher would play some music, and when she stopped the music we all had to freeze where we were. If you didn't freeze, you were out. I don't remember if you got anything for winning, maybe like a piece of bread or something, I don't know. But this one time in kindergarten, this like 6-year-old kid, at most, froze while doing a handstand. Like a freestanding, nobody holding him up, perfectly still handstand. For some reason, that pissed off the teacher a bit, and she told him not to do it again. But that was one of the coolest things I've ever seen in elementary school. What else? I gotta stretch out this video longer. Uh, oh yeah. Every year we'd have these musicals that like all the kids had to participate in. There were different musicals for all the grades. Like 4th grade always had something about Texas because we love our state very much. 2nd grade had this one musical they did like every year. It got kind of boring, but whenever I had to do that, it was like super boring because I wasn't a super good actor yet, like I am now. And I had to be in the ensemble because I didn't get any of the lead roles, and I did not want to be there. Band is so much better. Alright. One last thing, I promise. So every year around Halloween, we had like a pumpkin carving contest. I say carving in quotes because it was really more just who can design the best looking pumpkin. I remember in 1st grade, I made a Pikachu pumpkin, I think won like 2nd or 3rd place. It was behind like a Darth Vader pumpkin or something. That one was actually pretty fun. Here's a picture of me standing next to my vegetable, bearing the likeness of an iconic but painfully mediocre Pokemon. But anyway, that's all my elementary school stories for now, until I can think of more. If you want to see more and not miss me building this house and survival in my hardcore world, make sure to like and subscribe and comment something below the video because comments help the YouTube algorithm. I gotta cheat the system with my mediocre content until I get enough money to buy my own decent quality mic. Until then, this is Shoot Kapow. I missed the sheep. Over and out.